The developer update with the Freddy Rework as well as the mending changes is finally here, so let's take a look at it. So the very first massive change that comes with this killer update is that Freddy now gets access to both the Dream Snares as well as Dream Pallets, so you no longer have to choose between the two, and this also means that the add-ons for the Dream Pallets are reworked. This is already a massive and long requested change that is going to completely change the way Freddy is played, as now you have various options while playing in the match. But that's not all, because Dream Snares are also completely changing. Dream Snares are no longer a setup trap, and instead they are now a pool that moves at 12 meters per second with a cooldown of 5 seconds, and they also can go through walls as well as elevations, but not through ledges, similar to Pyramid Head's attack. The snares still slow down asleep survivors once they hit them, but they also work with awake survivors, giving them 30 seconds on their asleep timer. This is yet another huge change, as now you are not powerless against awake survivors, making you an M1 killer. You actually have a power, as you can make survivors actively fall asleep with the snares. Since the snares also go through walls, you can use this while going after a generator in order to make the survivors repairing it fall asleep, as well as revealing their location. The snares are super interesting, and you might be thinking that it's bad that the snares are no longer a setup power that you prepare before a chase. Well, that's the point of the Dream Pallets. Your Dream Pallets are now the setup, as they work in a different way. While survivors can still use them just like before, giving you a free hit, now you can manually detonate the pallets to make them explode after 1.5 seconds, injuring the survivors in case they are asleep, or giving them 60 seconds on their sleep timer if they are awake, with a 3-meter radius. What would make this super interesting is if you could detonate the pallets from across the map, getting some lucky injuries against survivors who are camping Dream Pallets in order to heal, as the range is not explained on this post. And if you thought that's not enough, Freddy's teleport is also now giga boosted. Now you can finally teleport to repair the generators as well as use your power on the endgame, so the Houndmaster search mechanic is indeed implemented on his power. But that's not all. You can also teleport to survivors healing whenever they are in the dream world, teleporting you 12 meters away from them, which is absolutely insane and low-key brings old Freddy into the new version, which we will talk about later. Not only that, the Killer Instinct add-on is implemented base kit, revealing any survivor nearby of your teleport with Killer Instinct and giving them 15 seconds on the sleep timer. The cooldown of the teleport is also buffed to 30 seconds instead of 45, allowing you to teleport more unlike before. However, now you cannot cancel the teleport. This last part is indeed a nerf to Freddy, as before you could trigger perks like Deadman Switch or make survivors panic with a fake teleport, which was a big part of his power. However, when you think about it, if the devs allowed you to teleport to healing survivors and cancel it anytime, this would have made it so that the survivors had no way to heal with hemorrhage builds. So, let's go back to the healing survivors mechanic. Anytime a survivor is inside the dream world and they are healing, their location will be revealed with Killer Instinct for as long as they are healing, and it will linger for 3 seconds after that, allowing Freddy to teleport to them. This is absolutely insane, and perks like Leverage or Gift of Pain are going to be brutal on him. The dream world is also apparently visually changing, with more changes to its visual coming in the future, potentially in live release. The final change is a nerf to the dream clocks, as now any survivor can use any dream clock in order to wake up, assuming they still give the sleep timer immunity. This was necessary, because the new Freddy would have been very crazy without this nerf, and this allows survivors to first wake up from the dream world and then heal themselves in order to prevent Freddy from teleporting to them while they heal. Freddy is also finally getting an add-on pass, changing a lot of his add-ons to give completely different effects. The Red Paintbrush Iridescent add-on will now reveal the survivors that are asleep as long as they are 32 meters away from you, so this works kinda like the original aura reveal of Freddy back when it showed the aura of survivors outside of your terror radius. The Black Box Iridescent add-on is also buffed to work anytime survivors are asleep, and not only when the doors are opened for the first time. And the Swing Chains add-on no longer makes footsteps louder. It now blocks all vault locations 16 meters from the teleport for 6 seconds anytime you teleport, so it sounds like an insane add-on indeed. So in my opinion, the new Freddy is absolutely amazing and I am looking forward to playing him. However, I have a very big issue with this update. So according to the developer post, they said that Freddy is a noob stomper in the previous version, but this new version of Freddy is even more of a noob stomper. While good survivors will wake up before healing using the dream clocks, the noobs will heal while asleep, allowing Freddy to teleport. Good survivors will also know that they need to pull dream pallets constantly, especially in a survive with friends group, whereas solo queue players won't know which pallets are dream ones or which ones are real. And in the past, players only had to deal with one type of Freddy power. Now there are both pallets and snares. Now don't get me wrong, I am not saying that this is a bad thing for Freddy, I am just saying that Freddy is going to have an even higher kill rate than before because this character is another complicated player to go against for casuals and solo queue. So don't be surprised when people complain about this new version of Freddy. While there are no perks or killer changes, there are 3 miscellaneous changes coming with this patch too. The first one is that the map prevention mechanic is now going to be a realm prevention mechanic, making sure players won't play the same realm as they previously did, except when map offerings are used. This is a big change because in the past, maps like Batham could have easily been repeated as they are different maps from the same realm. Now that it's realm based, if you get one variant of Batham, you won't be getting any other Batham map again. This also means that maps that have 2 different variants inside them, like Ormond and the new Ormond Mine, and Greenbean Square, as well as Garden of Joy, won't be repeated. I'm unsure if Nostromo is counted as the same as Singularity's map, since technically they both belong to the same Dvarka Deepwood realm. Mending is sadly not getting any gameplay changes, as instead it is all visual based. Mending has been made easier to understand for casual players as the bar progress is not found in the HUD, and instead it is now put on the progress bar similar to the anti-face camping mechanic, so survivors will know that the timer is going down. The blood splatter effects and the darkening of the screen are also reduced for accessibility, because in the past, Mending made it hard to see in game if your screen was too dark. This was done to make sure newer players know that Deep Wound requires you to mend real quick now that this is a status effect that happens in every single match and not a status exclusive to killers like Legion or Slinger. And finally, perhaps the coolest change in this patch is that Behavior is finally allowing players to test some of their characters for free. Behavior will now do some events that feature these free characters so that players get to know if they are interesting to use or not, but only in the event queue. They didn't specify whether these characters will be licensed or not, so this means that there is a possibility that players get to test licensed killers and survivors too. I assume that this was done for the 2 vs 8 game mode, allowing players to use the newer characters without having to purchase them, as in the previous version, players who didn't have Spirit, Blight or Slinger were not able to use them in that game mode, extending their queue times. If you remember in my last video, which was 10 features I wish to see in 2025, that video is now 9 features, because free characters was something I wanted to see in game, so I am very happy for this change, which is going to be amazing for casuals, newer players, and those who might not have the means to get new DLC. Make sure to subscribe in order to see all the changes once the new PTB is out tomorrow, as confirmed by Mandy Talks. And as always, thank you for watching and have a nice day.